Hello, my name is Bayode Agi. You know, the way people talk about accountant, you go think say nothing wey accountant they do. Now just to sit down, they press calculator, they post rubbish all day. The other day I was speaking to somebody and I heard at the background the person asking the question, wetin accountant they do self? Why this accountant they charge this amount? Wetin they won't do? We will never do before. And I couldn't help but laugh, at that statement, because it also reminded me of that popular TV program. I don't know if you remember the program called Wetin Lawyers They Do Self. If you didn't remember that program, you never listened to that program, you may have seen those stickers. I mean, at the point, I know that most lawyers have that sticker on their car at one point. It was as popular as that sticker of Jam me, I'm a lawyer, something like that. But the sticker of Wetin Lawyers They Do Self was very popular at the time. And I believe strongly the person that started that program must have been experiencing that level of thoughts that I'm now going through, especially when I'm selling my business or my services to people, and there's some person is trying to trivialize the value accountant brings to the table. I most times just laugh. In fact, sometimes in most situations, I don't want to continue to sell my service. I rather just okay, because if you don't understand what I'm bringing to the table, it's very hard for me to sell it to you. Now, years ago, a company had approached Pillarcraft. That company came to us and really the entire accounting system was in a mess. And we stepped in, helped them to restructure the accounting system. We set up an accounting software for them. And then as part of the services we started to offer, we gave them outsourced accounting services, outsourced payroll services, outsourced tax compliance services. And we did that for 3 consecutive years. In those 3 years, we were giving them management account on a monthly basis and making sure they had an annual financial statement before the end of January the following year. And I think we made the process so seamless that some of the staff, even the business, started to question that for what they are paying, this thing seems to be very simple. And all Pillarcraft was doing was using a software to do the service. And that software, once they can understand the software or learn how to use the software, they are home and dry. And then they approached us. The business owner said to us, arrogantly, they'll say, oh, I want my staff to be trained on how to use the software, and we don't think we need Pillarcraft service anymore. And I was initially disturbed because I really wanted to know, whenever a client is doing Pillarcraft, we usually want to know what is the thing, what is making you making that decision. And there are a lot of reasons why people say they want to disengage. Sometimes, mostly, it is because they've grown big and they want an internal resource, which is also very fine. But this particular business, we knew that the decision was being made because they seem to feel that this thing was so seamless. These people can't be doing a lot and they are charging this amount. So we did all we have to do, train the staff that needs to there to be trained, gave them an SOP, and then we moved on. 8 months down the line, the first thing I got was a text from the business owner saying that, oh, there must be a challenge. But anyhow, we want an annual review. And we requested, give us a trial balance for us to do the review. Now, when we now got the trial balance and we started to investigate, we found that the entire system was in a mess. In fact, for a better part of the year, the staff had abandoned, posting on the accounting software. It resulted to posting on Excel somewhere. And then we offered. We said, we will help you clear the backlog so that you come to the point where we can do a review and then we can give an opinion concerning your financials. And then that talk started. Oh, Wetin accountant they do self? We can do this. Just give us a checklist of what needed to be done. And we tell you that we'll come back to you in 2-3 days, I will have done. And I said, fine. And I was very open and I gave a checklist. And I told them what they needed to do, and I told them once you are done with those stuffs, come back to us and then we can review which is the initial engagement you are actually engaged us for. And during that conversation, I just kept laughing because I know for a fact what is bringing this thing up is because most people, like those staff and the business owner, really don't appreciate what accountants do. Now, again, the reason that this is also becoming more rampant is because of the way accounting softwares and people doing training online have made it look seamless or simple, that the only thing you need to do is post it. Now, what accounting softwares actually teach is how to use accounting softwares to post. But what they can't teach you that the accountant bring to the table, it is years of training, judgments, and experience. Because accounting is a practice. For every transaction the accountant is about to post, the accountant quickly brings to bear one, accounting rule books or general accounting practice of what needs to be done, some of the industry specific ways of handling transactions in that industry, which some of these things is even very difficult for the accountant to sit you down to tell you why those judgment call is being made, because it's built from years of experience, years of training. In fact, some of them are actually built from mistakes that he has made and now knows how to do it better or how not to do it, which most times he may not be able to explain to you. He will just have done it, In fact, I used to give this analogy of when people tell me that anybody with a camera can be a cameraman. And I said, no, you can't be. A good cameraman or a videographer is born out of years of understanding light sources, angles and all that. You need to learn all these things before you become a great cameraman. So that also brings another discussion, which is not for this video, the difference between a bookkeeper and an accountant and a great accountant. Because that's also a debate that, most times, even within accountant, there's always that talk of, is somebody a good accountant or not? The fact that he's labeled as an accountant, does that make him an accountant? Because we also have suffered that in the industry where, because maybe a business had engaged a bad accountant, they tend to see all accountants as not of big value. In fact, most times when people are making decisions about the accounting role or finance role, it's usually a residual decision that they want to come to later. And it also makes me laugh at them and say, because really, the first indication that you are not organized, you don't know what you're doing, is when you are starting a business and you think the accounting role is residual. I always advise, get a lawyer, get an accountant. First, those two on your team, either in-house or outsourced before you start. So the next time you get a quote from an accountant about providing you accounting services, don't relate it, don't translate it to simply meaning that the person just wants to post. The person is bringing to bear a lot of experience, a lot of judgments, a lot of training that will provide you a financial statement that will be meaningful, both for you, stakeholders, and anybody that gets to see it. So that come your way next time, please respect accountant. We are doing more than post.